Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Dennis Duke is my name. If you're new here, kindly subscribe. This is the Duke's Farm, and behind me, as you can see, we have some beautiful bunnies. Today we are understanding or learning some of the things that you need to consider before you start up a rabbit farm. And of course, the first thing that you should consider is having a reason to start. Now, having an idea to start is not the start of everything. Yes, you could have the idea, but you don't know how to start. But also starting requires you to have a reason to start. So for example, there are people who would consider making money as a reason to start. There are people who would consider keeping them for pets, as pets. Or there are those that would consider keeping them for meat. So you need to have a proper reason, not just an idea and then boom, you start. No, have a reason, because those reasons then become as a motivation, become as a guide to you. Like when you remember the reason as to why you started, you'll never feel demoralized, because rabbit farming has a couple of also challenges. Another thing is thinking about where are you going to put your rabbit. Like think of a space. Rabbit farming is the easiest among almost all the ventures that people go into farming. For example, it requires a small space and then you can maximize with that space. So thinking about a space is another one. You wouldn't want your rabbits to be outdoor. You'd want your rabbits to be at least indoor in a shelter like this. For example, we have these hatches, we have these cages like many of you call them. And these rabbits are very sensitive when it comes to predators. When they get scared, they also have it also has its own repercussion. So you wouldn't want to expose your rabbits just to be outdoor. It's very, very advisable that you get a cage, or you get, for example, there are farmers who would love to go on free range. Free range is good. There is a lot of benefits, but the challenge is sometimes you do not know how to monitor. Now, the benefit with this also helps you to identify or in record keeping. Record keeping in rabbit is very, very key, because it now helps you specify which cage has which breed, which cage has, at what point in time did I bring this particular rabbit, how old are these, when am I mating these. So when you have the cages, it simplifies literally the work. Now, after that, another point is get somebody that is doing farming. Say, for example, a farmer, a vet, or anybody doing farming in terms of rabbit. Or you can get a mentor. Let's call them a mentor. A lot of farmers out there, they just start without actually doing enough or proper research about this particular business of rabbit farming. Now, it is very, very, very suicidal to start without getting a mentor. The reason you need a mentor is because these people have experience. They've experienced this for over some time, and then you are literally using their experience to minimize on the damage that you could have gotten if you didn't have a mentor. A mentor will tell you that, now, when I was starting my farm, I had this challenge and this is how I overcame it. So that when you are starting, you try as much as you can to limit some of those loopholes that our new farmers or beginning farmers do encounter during the course of their production or during the course of their construction, whatever it may be. Now, after knowing or after getting a mentor, it is now time to look at the breeds. For any farm to thrive, you must have good breeds. You'll want breeds that are, one, disease resistant. You'll need breeds that are fast maturing. Within 4 months, you're ready to harvest. Maybe it's meat. You have at least a carcass of about 3 or 4 kilograms per rabbit. And that is good for you, and that's how the business actually will expand. If you are getting into breeding, maybe you want to breed and different farmers pick from your farm, you'll want to consider the different breeds that have, that can give you birth to many kids, so that for example, one rabbit can give you about 10, 12, 15, depending on how you feed them, but also depending on the breed. So you will want to sit down, and particularly, there are about, I think, over 300 different types of breeds in about 70 countries. There are breeds like New Zealand White, that's very, very, very sought after by different people. There is Chinchilla, there is the American Sport, there's California, there are the Dutches, there's Angola, there is Satin breed, then there is a Flemish Giant. All those are very, very good breeds for people that want to start their farm. So another thing to consider is feeding of the rabbits. Very many farmers start up this venture without thinking about the feeding of these rabbits. You need to have at least a plan of about 4 months. Like you'll never run out of feeds at your farm for about 4 months. Now those 4 months, within those 4 months, you're studying the business, you're studying the rabbits, then you now keep on increasing production of the feeds. So another thing to consider when you're starting up a farm is to look at your water source. Rabbits, like any other animal, they entirely want water throughout the day. Now, if you care to look at some of our cages here, you'll realize we have a water system that goes through this pipe. So these rabbits, as you can see, they take water through these nipples. Now we have a tank somewhere up there that we've connected, and it is our water source. So understanding that these animals need water on a daily will save you a lot, other than somebody who goes in there thinking that, okay, it's a game you go into and you just play. So you need to provide water, clean water. Different people will advise you on the different sources of water, but the most recommended one is having a well, because that's very, very good for these animals. You wouldn't want to give them water that is from the national water system, like for any country where they put a lot of chemicals. You'll want to minimize a lot, because these ones are also very sensitive to those chemicals. They could harm your rabbits. So these rabbits could go for a day or two without feeds, but these rabbits cannot go for 2 days without water. Some of them can even die because water, in fact, the composition of an animal, these rabbits, is also composed of water. Just like you see in chickens, rabbits entirely need water. 24/7 at least. Have water on your farm. So when you are starting, you need to look at your water source. Dig a borehole. That's the recommended one. You can harvest from rainwater. The only challenge with rainwater is you will need to service the tanks every other time, cleaning them among many other things, so that they are free from any organisms or bacteria, because all those can affect your rabbits. Now, you remember when we talked about doing research. Now, the initial research that I talked about was just to understand the business. But you also need to look at where is the market for those of you who are going into this as a business. First of all, on this channel, I don't do things kwara. I do things as a business. So I want farmers that want to do farming as a business to benefit from my videos. So doing that research should also include research on the market. Where is the market for these rabbits? I'll have a comprehensive video talking about the benefits of rearing rabbits and where is the market. A comprehensive on how to get the market, where's the market, who is your potential client, and how to get these potential clients. So that's very, very key. You need to make research on all these before you actually venture into farming as a business. Because at the end of the day, you will look at for example, you have about 1,000 rabbits. Yes, they are ready either for meat, they're ready either for selling, but at the same time, you may be not having that market. So you realize they're feeding into your pockets, because you have to keep them alive on a daily. And if you tamper with their feeding, tamper with their meals, you're going to have a repercussion at the end of the day, because they will be cutting either in the grams. So every day there's a gram that is added. So you need to be very, very careful when starting. Now, for now, it's a goodbye. Have yourselves a great time. This is Dennis Duke Wonyala, and this is the Duke's Farm. Thank you so much for joining us today.